Unit 2. Literature. Read the passage. The English word, literature, comes from the Latin word, literatura, which means, writing. Thus, we may assume that there was no literature until people could write. However, we cannot say that every and any piece of writing is literature. For instance, no one would call a recipe for coconut rice literature. Neither could one call the directions on a bottle of medicine literature. To put it simply, for a piece of writing to be recognized as literature, it must have a lasting effect on the reader in such a way that the reader would want to read on, and again too. A writer of a piece of literature may be compared to a painter. A painter chooses and uses colors carefully to get a beautiful painting. Similarly, a writer of a piece of literature chooses and uses his words carefully to turn out a piece of writing that will make his reader wish to read on, and even again and again. Another important point to note is that every literate nation has literature of its own. Literature as a field of study is made up of three subjects: prose, poetry, and drama. Prose. This is a kind of free, straightforward writing. There are no restrictions on the number of words or syllables as there are in poetry. Thus, letters, essays, articles, biographies, short stories, and novels are all pieces of prose. Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway are well-known novels. They are all pieces of prose. Poetry. Poetry is sometimes defined as literature in verse. Depending on the type of poem, the poet has to follow certain rules such as the number of syllables to a line, the number of lines to a stanza, the pattern of rhyme and rhythm to maintain, etc. For instance, a sonnet is a poem that has 14 lines and a particular pattern of rhyme. A limerick, on the other hand, is a humorous poem with 5 lines and its own rhyming scheme. A lyrical poem, another variety, expresses the poet's thoughts and feelings about something such as love, beauty, death, etc. For instance, Daffodils by William Wordsworth, Song by Christina Rossetti, and The Light of Other Days by Thomas Moore are famous lyrical poems. Drama. Sometimes, some writers write stories in the form of a play which is to be performed on a stage of a theater, or presented as a radio or television program. Such plays are known as drama. There are 3 kinds of drama: comedy, tragedy, and tragicomedy. A comedy is a play that is amusing and it makes people laugh. In such a play, the characters may be amusing, or the events may be amusing, or both are amusing. As You Like It and A Midsummer Night's Dream are well-known comedies written by William Shakespeare. A tragedy is a play that has a very sad ending. Such a play usually tells about the heroic struggle and the downfall of the main character. Shakespeare's Macbeth and Julius Caesar are famous tragedies of English literature. So is Romeo and Juliet. A tragicomedy is a type of play that is both sad and amusing. The Winter's Tale and Tempest are well-known Shakespeare's tragicomedies. When a novel or a poem or a play is of the highest quality, it becomes a classic. Thus, classics in literature are novels, poems, and plays that are of top quality. They are pleasurable to read at any time. And they have enduring cultural value. As a literate nation, ours is a literate culture, and hence, we too, have our own literature. Surely, you must have come across such Myanmar terms as Yatu, Yagan, Pu, Ejin, Ijin, Lay Sit, Te Dut, Balal, etc., all of which are the various kinds of poem of Myanmar literature. And of course we have our prose and drama, too. You might even happen to know or have heard of some prominent figures in Myanmar literature of the past given in the box below.